So our final panelist is Fabiola Hernandez, and she's extra special to me because she is the teacher of one of my children at the Orfala Early Learning Center just across the street. That's the City College lab. Do you call it a lab school or yeah, lab school? And so Fabi, tell us your story.
Well, my story is I was born and raised here in Santa Barbara. So I went to Santa Barbara High School, decided I should go to City College. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I really enjoyed math and usually did good, so I thought I'll be a math teacher. But, you know, that'll work for me. So I came here and I believe that I assessed a little bit too high in the math, and so my experiences in my math classes here at City College was not an A student. So I think that's one of the things that made me rethink what I wanted to do. So I retook one of the math classes, which was very difficult for me to do because that was the only thing I was good at or I felt really good about. And also didn't do so well. At the time I was working full-time and I had about 15 units, which was probably not the best idea, but that's what I needed to do for my situation. So then one day when I was just sitting at the stadium thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I don't know what other path to go. My friend, Martha, came walking along and she goes, I'm out of that computer science thing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have this pamphlet about ECE. So I thought, well, I've always enjoyed working with children. I'm the oldest of 4, and even with my cousins, I'm one of the oldest. So I've always been around children, done babysitting, but never really thought of it as a career. I don't know why, but. So she said, the orientation is today, so let's go. So I said, okay, because I don't know what else I'm going to do. So we went to the orientation. They gave us the paperwork. They said the first 30 people to turn it in, get in the program. Went ahead and did it. By this time, I had already done all of my general ed. I had already taken English, the math, everything was done. So I really dove into early childhood education, which was just wonderful for me. Let's see, so I started getting really good grades again, which made me feel really good, and it was very interesting to me, you know, all the psychological parts of early childhood and how it really makes you learn a lot about yourself. Early childhood is all about relationships, and all of us have relationships, whether it's with the boyfriend, with the husband, with your mom, with other children, with coworkers. Life is about relationships, and so early childhood education helps you in everything. I think everyone, it doesn't matter if you're not going to work with children, should take early childhood education classes. There's my plug.
We'll pay you later.
So it worked really well for me to dive into early childhood because I had 4 classes that all kind of overlapped a little bit. So I was hearing the same messages, reflecting on similar things. I might be thinking about something in this class, and then over in this class, I thought, aha, that's what they're talking about. Or, oh, I could take this and apply it over here. So that was a really good path for me. I also was here at City College for 5 years, really long, longer than probably the average student. I was not thinking of transferring at that time. I just came to City College after high school, and that was my plan. I was the first one in the family to go to college, so of course my parents wanted me to get a good education. They were always supporting me, but I didn't really have a lot of pressure to go and get a degree or, you know, where am I going to transfer. My mom wasn't quite ready for me to move out of the house. Anyways, so I did the ECE. Through that, it used to be a 2-year program, and then I applied for the internship position, and I was lucky enough to get it. So I did 2 years of internship at the lab school, and we call it a lab school because it really is just like your biology lab, just like your chemistry lab. It's a science, and there are certain things that you cannot learn from a book, because there is not a child that can fit in a box. I mean, every child is completely different, and
as much as you'd like to put
as
them
much
in
as
a
you would
box.
just like to say, you go to box A, you go to box B. So every year, you get different children, different personalities, different challenges, different exciting adventures. It's awesome. It's awesome. There's not a day alike, and I continue to learn to this day. My learning has never stopped, and it never will, because every year I will have a new group of children with, like I said, new ideas, new ahas, different situations. So I think that the learning in early childhood is just never going to stop. So I had so many units because I had been here for 5 years. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the beginning, so I thought about math. I also was thinking about psychology. I took a couple psychology classes, and I thought, well, I really like this, but I don't think this is for me. I took sociology classes, and I really liked it too, but I thought, where am I going to work out with this? I took all kinds of classes. So when I found ECE, I took all the courses that were required. Then I went to see a counselor, and the counselor was like, you have way too many units. You're going to graduate with 2 degrees. So I graduated with an associate in arts and associate in science and early childhood education when I graduated City College. I continued to take a class here and there while I got hired at Cottage Hospital Children's Center, and I worked there for only 6 months with infants, which I really liked because I learned about a different philosophy called the RIE philosophy, and at that time I took a course through them. They paid for my course, which was really nice, from UCSB. So I have 2 units, 2 random units from UCSB. And then they were able to put me in the preschool classroom. They hired me as an infant toddler teacher, even though I didn't have infant toddler courses yet, but I was willing to take them at the time of hire, because coming from City College and the early childhood education program, I was very valuable. I had people calling me that wanted to hire me. I didn't have to go out and look for a job. I was still doing my internship when I was asked to work in the morning, since my internship was in the afternoon at another school, and I said, sure, I've always worked full-time, I need to work full-time. So I got hired there, but it was only for 2 days. At another center calling me to see if I could work the other mornings, the other 3 days. So I had a full-time job, different centers, but they approached me. So Santa Barbara City College Early Childhood Education Department program, the lab school, is just, it's awesome. I can't say so many good things about it. So I was, like I said, I was still taking a class here and there. And then my little sister, 4 years younger than me, was looking at colleges, and she was gonna think about transferring, and so she was gonna go visit colleges. And I thought, well, I want to go to college too. How come you're thinking about going to college? So I went on a field trip with her to Cal State Northridge. And while I was there, some of the counselors said, so are you thinking about it? When are you going to do it? And I'm like, I can't afford it. I don't have any money. I have to work, I have to pay my car, and my family doesn't have a lot of money, and I don't have like a college fund or anything like that. So I just, I just came to accompany my sister, and they said, fill out the paperwork. We'll just, just to see what happens. So I did. And before I left, they said, this is not official because you have to turn in the paperwork, but they said, you would qualify to come. You're in, basically. And so I came home, and I told my mom, I think I'm going to move away and go to college in a month. So I talked to my boss at Cottage Hospital, and they were very supportive. They were really encouraging me to continue my education. And so there I go. And I went. And I moved down there, so by this time I'm 25. For me, that was really, really good. I don't think I would have had the same experience had I gone at 18, and had I not had my city college experience being at college, me having to go to offices and ask for help versus when you're in high school, the counselors come and visit you, people come to you. Once you're in college, well, you're an adult, you have to go and seek the help. So having that experience here at City College really set me up to have a positive experience at the university. It was a big change for me. I had lived here all my life. I had never moved away, never moved schools even. So this was, it was a really good experience. I matured a lot, I feel. And I was very successful. I was very successful over there. I had good grades. I took the classes. I talked so much about City College and the lab school over in my classes that once I graduated, one of the head of the department of what they call Family Environmental Services was in the middle of opening up a center. She wanted to hire me as and I'm like, I'm going back to Santa Barbara. So I'm so sorry, but I had talked so much about the lab school and the program and my experiences here, and they had seen my work with children and how, the different ideas that I had that I learned here. She came to visit Santa Barbara City College because she had to see the school, she had to see the program. So I graduated with a bachelor's in child development and a minor in child care administration, which I just learned that I do not want to administrate. So I have it, but I learned that that's not what I want to do. I want to be in the classroom hands-on. That's what works for me. And I think that's such an important part of the early childhood education program is that you have the lab school, because you can go to school for 4 years and study and learn the theory and Piaget this and Erickson that, but it's not until you're in this classroom with 12 children and you're having a conflict that you really know if this is what you want to do, if this is your calling, or if it's like Julie said, there's so many other paths that you can do with child development. Perhaps it's not in the classroom. I found out that for me it is in the classroom. So when I came back to City College, I came back to Santa Barbara, I went straight to City College, walked in, I'm like, Julie, I'm back, I'm looking for a job. She says, well, we have a position open right now, you can go apply for it. And I got hired as a laboratory teaching assistant, which is the person that supervises the student teachers who are doing their lab work at our lab. So I did that for 3 years. And it was great working in the classroom with the adult students, but I also got to see the children and talk to student teachers about my experience and experiences that they're having in the lab school. 3 years after I got hired there was a position open for the classroom, so I jumped to it and have been there ever since.
So how long have you been in the classroom as a teacher? 3 years or?
No, it's either 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
I came back in 2003, so 2006, 6 years.
Okay.
This will be my 6th year.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool, great. Well, thank you so much, Fabi. That was awesome. Great to hear great to hear all of you. And I'm gonna just